Hospital was wrong and caused my 9-month son to have an unnecessary medical procedure performed. My 9-month-old son had RSV and was diagnosed by his pediatrician. The next night his temperature spiked to 104.7. I gave him some Tylenol and just to be safe, took him to the hospital. It was midnight and that was the only place I could take him that was open. They took his vitals and temperature and educated me on what I should do next time something like this happens and signs to look for if his condition gets worse. Before we got the discharge papers and sent on our way, they wanted to take his temperature again. The nurse came and took the thermometer, put lube on it and put it in my son's rectum. While the thermometer was in his rectum, her face went from calm to freaked out/panic. She pulls the thermometer out of his rectum, puts it on the bed my son is laying on, lifts his leg, spreads his butt cheeks and looks at his rectum. She put the diaper back on him and says she needs to get someone else. When the nurse and another nurse come in, the nurse who was taking his temperature says when she was taking my son's temperature the plastic cover comes off the thermometer and gets sucked up into my son's colon. They can't get it out and call a pediatric GI specialist, and he says send us home and see if it will come out with my son's next poop, and if 12 to 16 hours pass and it still hasn't come out, then to send us to a hospital an hour away from us and they will assist us. 14 hours pass and it has not come out, so I take him to the hospital and check him in. While the doctors are taking his vitals they ask what happened and I explain what happened. The first words that come out of the doctor's mouth was I call bullshit, and explains how it's almost impossible for that to happen because of how long the thermometer cover is and how the colon of a 9-mo is. He asks me and my girlfriend, child's mother, if we were there, did we see it happen? We told him we were there in the room but did not see it happen. He says okay and finishes checking my son's vitals and brings us to a room and we wait. As we are waiting in the room, people are coming in and out asking us questions about what happened, what the next step is. Nothing unusual. The doctors tell us they are going to take x-rays of my son to see if they can see the piece of plastic inside of him, but it's unlikely it will show up due to the type of material the thermometer cover is made of. Results come back and they can't see it. Says next step is to take him to the children's section of the hospital, don't remember what they called it, and they will hold him overnight to monitor him and give him laxatives to try and get him to poop it out. So we get to the children's section of the hospital, they give him the laxatives and my son poops twice and nothing, no thermometer cover. Now it's about 8 a.m. and they say since it hasn't come out, the next step is to put a camera inside of him, find it and pull it out. They tell me and my girlfriend they will have to sedate my son to perform the colonoscopy and explain the risks involved, especially since my son has a respiratory virus. We both agree because there is no other option to get the thermometer cover out. We sign the forms and they perform the colonoscopy and send us to a waiting room right outside the room where they are doing the procedure. The doctor comes out, puts 2 pieces of paper in front of us with a bunch of pictures of my son's colon on it and says there was never any thermometer cover inside your son, and one of 2 things happened. The nurse never put a thermometer cover on the thermometer in the first place, or the thermometer cover fell off the thermometer and the nurse didn't realize it. He also said that he was the pediatric GI specialist that the nurse, who claimed the thermometer cover was inside my son, talked to over the phone, and she was very adamant that there is a thermometer cover in my son's rectum. I asked the doctor, are you 100% certain that there is not a thermometer cover inside my son? And his response was, I snaked your son's entire colon. Don't remember the exact term used, and I can say with 100% certainty that there is not a thermometer cover inside your son. We were in the hospital for 20 hours, from 6 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. the next day. Between the laxatives they gave my son, holding him down, sticking needles in him, and the anesthesia and colonoscopy, it was very clear my son wasn't happy. By the end of the visit, every time someone came in the room that wasn't me or his mother, he would get visibly uncomfortable or cry and didn't want anyone to touch him. Should I contact a lawyer? Is this negligence? I know we are going to get a bill in the mail for this based on what the doctors had told me. Can I sue for the cost of my medical bill? I'm currently at work so I won't be able to respond quickly, but I will respond when I can.